Most people get this wrong when they try to start a company in Ethiopia. They assume it is just about filling out forms and registering a business name. But here's the truth no one tells you. The real challenge is not the idea, not the capital, and not even the market. It is understanding the legal process, the sequencing of approvals, and how Ethiopian business registration actually works in practice. If you miss one step or submit incorrect documents, your entire company formation can be delayed for weeks or even rejected. But here's the good news. Once you understand the exact step-by-step system, starting a company in Ethiopia becomes structured and predictable. It is not random. It follows a clear legal pathway. In this video, you are going to learn everything you need. From choosing your company structure, to registering your business name, preparing legal documents, getting tax identification, opening a bank account, and staying compliant in 2026. And in a minute, I'll also show you the most common mistake foreign investors make in Ethiopia that quietly slows down their entire registration process. Let's start from the beginning. The first thing you need to understand is that Ethiopia's business registration system is centralized and highly formal. This means everything is processed through government institutions, and accuracy matters a lot. Small errors can create long delays. So patience and preparation are not optional. They are essential. Now, before anything else, you must decide your company structure. In Ethiopia, most businesses choose between a sole proprietorship, a private limited company, or a share company. For most entrepreneurs, especially those planning long-term growth, the private limited company is the most practical option. Let's make this real. Imagine Alex, an investor from Kenya, wants to start a logistics business in Addis Ababa. He does not want unlimited personal liability. He wants flexibility and growth potential. So he chooses a private, limited company. That decision determines everything that follows. But here's where many beginners make a mistake. They choose a structure without understanding long-term implications like tax treatment, ownership rules, and expansion potential. So always start with clarity about your business goals. Now, once you choose your structure, the next step is business name reservation. Your company name must be unique and approved by the Ministry or Business Registration Authority. Usually submit multiple name options in case your first choice is already taken. Now here's where it gets interesting. Name approval is not just about availability. It also depends on compliance with naming regulations. Some names may be rejected if they conflict with government institutions or restricted terms. So if John, a foreign entrepreneur, submits a name that sounds too generic or conflicts with reserved categories, his approval may be delayed even if the name is technically available. This is why it is smart to prepare multiple name options and keep them simple, professional, and compliant. Once your name is approved, you move into one of the most important stages: document preparation. This is where most people fail, because they underestimate how strict this step actually is. You will need identification documents, shareholder information, company address details, and articles of association. Now, the articles of association is extremely important. It defines ownership structure, management roles, capital contribution, profit distribution, and operational rules. Think of it as the legal DNA of your company. Now, let's take another example. Zara, an entrepreneur from the UK, prepares her documents using a generic, international template. Everything looks fine to her. But when she submits it, the registration office rejects it because it does not fully comply with Ethiopian legal formatting requirements. This is a very common problem. This is where most people lose time. They assume global templates work everywhere. But in Ethiopia, local compliance is critical. So the smart approach is to ensure your documents are reviewed by someone familiar with Ethiopian business law before submission. Now, once your documents are ready, you submit them to the appropriate business registration authority, often through a one-stop service system in many regions. This is the stage where your company officially enters the legal system. But here's the problem. Submission does not guarantee approval. Authorities may request corrections, clarifications, or additional documentation. And this is completely normal. The key is to respond quickly and accurately. Delays usually happen when applicants are not prepared for revision requests. Now, in a minute, I'll show you a simple preparation method that can significantly reduce back-and-forth delays during company registration. After approval, you receive your business license and commercial registration certificate. This is a major milestone. It officially confirms your company exists legally in Ethiopia. Without this, you cannot proceed to tax registration or banking. Now, the next step is tax registration. Every company in Ethiopia must register with the tax authority to obtain a tax identification number, often called a TIN. This number is required for invoices, contracts, payroll, and banking. Now here's something important. Many new business owners delay tax registration thinking they are too small to worry about taxes. That is a mistake. Without a TIN, your company is not fully operational in the formal economy. So always complete this step early. Now let's talk about licensing. Depending on your business activity, you may need additional sector-specific licenses. For example, import-export companies, construction firms, financial services, and healthcare businesses often require additional approvals. This is where things can become more complex. But here's a simple way to understand it. The more regulated your industry, the more approvals you need. So if Alex is running a consulting company, his licensing process is relatively simple. But if John is importing industrial goods, he may need additional permits from relevant authorities. Now let's move to one of the most important steps: opening a corporate bank account. Without a business bank account, your company cannot operate effectively. To open an account in Ethiopia, you typically need your business license, registration certificate, tax identification number, and identification documents. Banks may also request business plans or proof of operations depending on compliance requirements. Now here's the problem many foreign investors face. Banking procedures can take time due to strict verification and compliance checks. So the key is preparation. The more complete your documentation, the smoother your approval process. Now I want to pause here and highlight something important. Many people think company registration is the final step. But in reality, it is only the beginning. After registration, you enter the compliance phase. Compliance means maintaining your company legally every year. This includes tax filings, license renewals, and keeping your company records updated. If you ignore compliance, your company can face penalties or even suspension. So long-term success is not just about formation. It is about maintenance. Now, let's talk about foreign investment. Ethiopia allows foreign investment in many sectors, but some industries may have restrictions or require joint ventures depending on national regulations. This is not a barrier. It is a structure. Many international companies successfully operate in Ethiopia by working within these frameworks. Now here's where it gets interesting. Ethiopia has strong opportunities in agriculture, manufacturing, logistics, construction, and renewable energy. These sectors are growing and still developing, which creates room for early investors. But opportunity only works if your legal foundation is correct. Now let's walk through the entire process clearly, so you can remember it easily. First, choose your company structure based on your goals. Second, reserve your company name. Third, prepare legally compliant documents. Fourth, submit for registration. Fifth, obtain your business license and registration certificate. Sixth, register for tax and obtain a tax identification number. Seventh, apply for sector-specific licenses if needed. Eighth, open a corporate bank account. And finally, maintain annual compliance. That is the full system. Now let's make it practical with a real example. Imagine Ahmed, an entrepreneur starting a trading company in Addis Ababa. He chooses a private limited company structure. He prepares several name options. He gets approval. He works with a local consultant to prepare compliant documents. He submits them and receives minor correction requests. He updates them quickly and gets approval. He registers for tax, applies for trading-related permits, opens a bank account, and starts operations. This is how the process works when done correctly. Now, here is the key insight. The difference between success and delay is not money or connections. It is preparation and compliance accuracy. Now before we finish, let's quickly summarize everything. Starting a company in Ethiopia involves choosing the right structure, reserving a business name, preparing compliant legal documents, registering with authorities, obtaining a business license, registering for tax, securing required sector permits, opening a bank account, and maintaining ongoing compliance. If you follow this process step by step, you are not guessing your way through business formation. You are building a structured, legally compliant company in a growing economy. And now, you have a complete roadmap that most beginners never receive. If this guide helped you understand how to start a company in Ethiopia, make sure to like the video, leave a comment with your questions, and subscribe for more clear, step-by-step international business guides that simplify complex legal systems into practical action.